yourself. Remember, darling, don't look for me. I'm just a story you've been told. So let's pretend a little longer. 'Cause when we're gone, everything goes on. Well, you were staring out the window, and I said I wanna take you to the sea. And when I'm better, we'll do everything. I gotta stop making promises I can't keep. But if I was gone tomorrow, won't the waves crash on? Is it selfish that I'm happy as we pass the setting sun? Someday I'll be overcast, but you won't have to cry. 'Cause we'll do the grieving while I'm by your side. I said, don't try to make yourself.
Well, hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday to you. Hope you guys are having a great week. Welcome to Midnight Hatter Live, the weekly variety show where we talk Gundam, Gunpla, all that good stuff. I'm Hatter, Steven, your host. Joining me as always is the hatted Adam Blue. How are you doing, my friend?
Doing good, Hatter. Yeah, I've got a hat for this evening. This is a Gundam Explained hat available at the Gundam Explained shop. I don't know.
Right. Now, do you have one of those like subdomains where it's like shop.1000 or shop.gundamexplained.com?
Not yet. I do have the shop, or maybe I do. I don't know. I think it's like a certain tier. You got to pay for that. I tell you, I have not been on my merch game like some people are and some people suggest. One day, though. One day.
I have some pretty clever merch ideas that I was sharing with you and the Patreon members last night, I suppose. But oh man,
yeah,
I've got some cool ideas, and I think we're gonna have some fun with it. Now, I hope you guys are excited to just hear from Adam and I today. We don't have a guest, which I know, like the past few weeks, we've just been kind of rocking with like really awesome guests, people that are like experts in their fields, have lots of interesting feedback and just interesting takes on things too. Like I said, it's funny to me that, you know, I've been building Gunpla for 20 some odd years, and you know, it took Peanut and Smiley, or well, Peanut specifically, saying like, you know, I just don't like building Gundams. I'm like, wow, you know what? I don't like it either.
That was such an interesting kind of revelation that we can like admit that. Although,
right,
I will say, I built this and I had fun the entire time. Thanks, Yonic Shadow.
Sweet.
That was a different type of build.
I've not finished mine yet. I'm still working on the Geno Breaker, the Kotobukiya kit that Goose sent me. I will say one thing about that Epion that makes it a much friendlier build, and I've mentioned this before, is that the heat rod comes as one piece.
I love it. Because it's articulated, so there's a lot to it, and I just can't imagine building it. It reminds me of like the fin funnels or on like the new Gundam and the high new, and it's like having to do all of that. But
oh yeah, so I mean it's amazing some of the stuff that they can do with like the multicolor injection molding. I've seen, you know, even as early as 1991, there is a Zeta Gundam that was, you know, it was like a multi-step injection molded kit where, you know, you had yellow and white parts cast together on the runner, so it was like there was a lot less painting that you had to do for the time, that, you know, because they just everything was already on the runner in color. So
I hadn't seen that one, because and you said it was from 91.
Yeah,
like the year 1991 and F91.
No, 1991. Like, yeah.
Oh,
I realize that's confusing now. I'm like,
well, no, because I have a couple kits from F91 from 91, and it's the bad guy kits, because, you know, they don't make those modern, but they're just not that great. I think I did a review on them, but actually not that great nowadays. Back in the day, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. So I mean, it's cool because, you know, I have like the older Epion kits where it was always, the heat rod was always two pieces, and you would just kind of snap them together like links on a chain. You know, you'd kind of string it all together. But not nearly as articulated, because you couldn't turn on the axis. All it would do was arc because that's all it was capable of doing. So
A
it's just
hinge, not a
fascinating.
pivot or a swivel.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
the term. Jobby the Hong.
So,
I don't know
right.
if you guys ever watched him. I learned
Exactly.
all of my action figure articulation lingo from him.
We need ab crunch. We need pivot.
And that's the thing. I am gonna do a full review on this, but this is like an action figure. Like the real grades just keep getting better and better,
Yeah.
and it doesn't fall apart. Like I can sit here and move it around and do things, and it's sturdy.
Yeah, that's one of the nice things about the current lineup of real grades, because that first generation, they're a little fiddly. Like,
Yeah.
especially, oh man, you know how many times I messed up with that Zaku 2, and it's like all of the individual rivets on the pipes that you have to thread.
Oh, yeah, because that's interesting because you can mess that up
Yes.
if you're not careful. Yeah,
Because they're actually in an order, and
Yeah.
it's so on like some of the older master grade kits, they have that same gimmick where it's like a spring and you can thread thread them on, but all of the sections of the pipe, the segments are all just the same roundness. But yeah,
yeah, that's interesting.
well, I'm
stuff.
glad that we're just getting right into it today.
Yeah,
We're
why
just-
not?
yeah, I love it. Let me see. You know what? I did not prep properly because, well, let's just say that today's episode is brought to you by Ethan E, who I see his name is scrolling across the stream right now. Yeah, so Ethan's actually been a Patreon supporter for a long time, probably one of the OGs when I first started the Patreon. So thank you, sir, for supporting the show. This show is brought to you by you guys. But yeah, in Gunpla news, speaking of Gunpla that have been getting better and better over the years, there was an announcement that I only found out because of our mutual friend Zeonic Shadow, who I see you in the chat there, buddy. It's the new Master Grade Sinanju Stein that's been announced, right?
That's cool. I was trying to look for something on because I didn't put Stein. That you know what, that is one too that while that's not it's a cool suit, I don't really think about the Sinanju Stein, randomly, but I have always heard people ask for that.
Yeah.
So,
and I think what's appealing about this particular one, and I was just reading on Discord a couple of the comments about it, is that it does have like optional parts. It seems like the original Sinanju Stein was basically just a recolor of the Sinanju with the command horn taken off.
Yeah.
But this one's a little bit more anime accurate and has the option parts to make it a sleeves version. So that's kind of cool.
Oh, that is neat. Let's see. Yeah, I was seeing if there was a link. Did you have? Oh, there we go. Yeah. They're calling it the narrative version, obviously, Verka.
Yep.
Ooh, that's gonna look good. That's interesting because like isn't that either it just came out, it's about to the CPACs, and that's from narrative. So it's like they're tackling a few from a specific.
Kind of makes me wonder if there's some new narrative content that they're thinking about.
That fits in with the UC 100. Although I thought you were going to say Master Grade Neo Zeong too. But
yeah, that would be cool. Because that would be a game changer for sure. Now, I will say this, that for those of you guys who missed it, last week I paid a visit to the Bandai Hobby flagship store here in my hometown, and I made a little video about it, but I don't think that I really even captured the true scale of how many kits and the quality of kits that they had there, because like I said in the video, they did have an aisle that was just nothing but Verka, and I've never seen Verka at just like a random hobby store stuff. That's typically stuff that I've only seen online. Yeah. So it's very, and I mentioned this, it's not like the Gundam based pop-ups where they're selling Gundam based exclusive stuff, but there are kits there that are usually pretty hard to find.
Even what I saw online. In that video, like the Gunperry, even things that aren't mobile suits, it was like that is awesome. That's stuff that if my local hobby shop had that, I would be picking it up right away. So
exactly. And because you end up saving money on shipping and things like that. So what I mentioned in the video, I picked up this guy, which I had been looking at forever because I've had the cross silhouette Zaku and Zeta, since they came out. I even did a review video on them when they first came out. Back when I thought like, oh, I could actually review Gunpla. Nobody cares what I think about Gunpla. But $8 for this,
Yeah.
is way better than $8 plus 10 shipping. And then, and of course, like, oh yeah, you can get free shipping, probably like add $300 more things to your cart.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But for all of the waiting that I did, man, I'm glad that I didn't pay $18 for it because it was a massive disappointment. And we're going to get into that today because that's what we're going to be sort of tinkering with. You guys saw I cheekily in the thumbnail decided to put the Zaku head back on my Zeta.
It looks so good though.
It does. It looks like it fits.
Because it looks like you had done some painting on it, right?
Yes.
Like on the Zaku head especially.
Yeah.
So like it looks like a nicely detailed Gunpla from an expert.
I mean, don't flattery will get you everywhere, sir.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, I have that and a couple of other cool things to show you, which, for me, I'm excited about these things. Not just because I'm always excited to share with you guys, but I was kind of feeling in a rut the last few weeks, especially interviewing guys like MechDio and the Gunpla sisters who, constantly crank out such amazing kits, regularly, and putting out such great content. And I'm like, man, I used to do some really cool stuff. I used to do these crazy paint tricks and like come up with tips for saving money and casting parts in resin and things like that. And I was like, man, has Hatter lost his edge? Did fatherhood kill me? Like what happened?
I can see what you're saying there. Yeah, that kind of makes sense where you there's a little bit of a slow speed to getting to these projects when having kids, but you still got it, man.
Something like that.
You still got it.
No,
especially recently learning the electricity. I've been even reading. Watching videos online to learn about amperage and wattage because I don't know that stuff. But after your videos, it's like, man, if I learn this stuff, it'd be easy to repair things around the house or quickly just add some flair to something.
Heck yeah.
So you're still rocking it, man. Don't worry.
Thank you. Yeah, I made that realization this past weekend when I realized the kind of projects that I've got lined up, not only for the next couple weeks, but for the coming year. And we ain't done yet. Let me just put it that way. So, yeah, I've got some cool things to show you today. More videos that are going to be coming out with tutorials on how to make some really kick-ass stuff with your Gunpla. And today we're going to start by kind of tinkering with this Zaku, Zeta Zaku, with the Zeta in particular, because there are some issues that I have with it. And like I said, we're going to get into that right away. But before... Oh, go ahead.
Do you think a piece of your content that you might make could be like a look at the Genobreaker?
Yes.
Okay, absolutely. I was curious if that aligns with your content, because I'd like to see that.
Yeah, so the Genobreaker is... 50% done. It's a long build, and especially I've gotten to the part that gets a little bit boring. One of the things that I've loved about the Genobreaker so far is that when I've been building it, each individual piece is very different. Like, it's exciting. There's a lot of novelty in the build.
Oh, that's cool.
Except when you get to the arms, the legs, and the backpack, because then it's basically just doing 2 of everything, because you have to do 2 of everything. So I've completed the head, the torso, the tail, and I mean the articulation on it is really awesome. I'm gonna do like a full review, and then we're gonna kind of come up with an idea for customization. I'm not even sure how customization will work on this guy because
it's already detailed.
There's a lot of integrated parts that would make it tricky to paint in a effective way. But like I said, we will be hitting on that hopefully before Christmas. Well, Christmas is next week, so
oh, man, I know, around the corner.
Are you ready? Do you have everything?
I guess I am. I think I've been ready for a while and didn't realize it. It was that moment of wait, it's this close, but hey, I just get here. Okay.
There you go. Well, hey, speaking of Christmas, if you guys haven't seen, Adam dropped a video Christmas related this morning, which I loved
Yeah.
it. Hope you guys will check it out if you have not already. After the stream, definitely go have a look and see why 0080 is the best Christmas movie.
Endless thanks. Endless thanks.
Endless thanks.
Oh, just
Uh,
got to throw that in.
it's better than the what is it, the timeless I don't know, square dance. What are some other uh, I can't come up with a similar word for endless waltz
Yeah. Yeah, I know
fast
what
enough
you
off
mean.
the top of my head.
Yeah, it's easy with the word wing and endless, and that's about
Yeah.
it.
The infinite Charleston.
Oh,
There we go.
that's pretty good.
So yeah, let me switch over to our screen share view here so that you can see what I've got here on the table. I'm going to show you a few things before we hop into actually operating on our poor little cross silhouette Zeta here. For one, Adam, you have some of these. I sent some to Xeonic Shadow as well, but these custom printed decals
Oh, yeah.
are pretty freaking sweet. I am loving the idea of just having, Hatter customs, which even if I am not trying to do something that's like custom to me, I might just start
Yeah.
using these as like a brand,
Yeah, there you go, signature.
like put it on the bottom of a foot or
The
something like
artist's
that.
mark. So is that something you painted?
Oh yes, this was actually from a build competition that I did with a mutual, well, not with an old friend, Tony, who's been a long time supporter of the channel. We both got a Char Zegok, and we, kind of challenged each other to do the best that we could with it. And this is what I came up with, was an
That's
extra
cool.
long, wiggly
Yeah,
armed.
I like that idea. I like the blue on that too.
Me too. Yeah. I don't do a lot of blues in my customs. It's
Mhm.
I'm a paint everything purple kind of guy.
Yeah, blue is really not a normal mobile suit color anyway. I mean, there's a little bit of it like as accents, and
Right.
usually they're darker. I think like was it the Gundam Mark V? I think is one that has like a
Yeah.
lot of the light blue. Um,
The Gundam Mark V. I recently finished building this guy, the
oh,
Zekuines.
Zeku. Yeah, there
Um,
we go.
which, let me tell you something. The camera does this kit a lot of justice because this blue is hideous to look at in
Oh,
person. It is
okay.
so ugly. I cannot wait to do something with this because it is one of those kits that I think it was just the time that it came out. It looks very cheap, plastic toy kind of.
Yeah,
And
that can
maybe
happen.
so. This camera kind of captures the candy coating of this blue a
Exactly.
lot better.
That's yeah, with that, it's like you can kind of see how it's the light's reflecting where it gives it that cheaper plastic look. Yeah.
So maybe it's something that can be fixed with just a matte coat, and that
Yeah.
would take care of it. But if not, that kit is definitely getting a paint job.
Okay, that's cool. But yeah, so I got the decals from you with the Gundam Explain, the sick stuff. I already have an idea. I've mapped out a custom mobile suit and where it exists, and I'm going to make it. I already bought the kit. I'm going to mash two
Awesome.
kits together, make a custom. I even have the name for it, the story. That'll be a
the,
video later.
the Gundam blue.
I'm not going to say.
Oh
It's
yeah.
pretty good though. It's genius.
See, that's the goal of everything that I do here, right? Is to encourage and inspire. And so I'm glad that those made it to you in one piece.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
In addition to the custom decals, one of the other things that I've been working on, and the Patreon folks have already seen this, but you guys might be familiar with a video that I did some time ago about these little wireless LED, just wireless
Yeah.
LED units. You can get them pretty cheap on Amazon. I think that this little unit itself is just $10, and to get a larger one that covers a bigger area, I think it was like $27. But as you can see, the applications are fairly limited because here I am probably about 2 inches away from the ring, and already you kind of see that the LED is dying. I love having my camera on a boom arm
I know,
now.
that's
It's
pretty
like
nice.
I can actually control what I'm doing. So yeah, as you can see, limited range on these lights, but that is a problem that we have solved because
Ooh.
I have found a way to basically hide the receiver of the induction ring inside the leg and thread up the wire
Oh,
to the mono eye. So
sick. Dude, that's sick.
I'm so happy about this because that is the number one comment I got on that video was, how can we extend the range? Like, do we do bigger
Mm,
coils? Do we like what's the trick there? And I'm like, I got you.
I got
So yeah, I'm gonna do
no,
a, tutorial video on that because I think that that's a huge deal. Like one of the things for me when I build a kit, especially with LEDs or something that I'm worried is going to be like a permanent fixture, because you don't want, like, nobody wants to have like a battery pack that they have to strap
yeah,
onto their Gunpla. Like you want to be able to just kind of like pick up and play with your Gunpla, play with your
yeah,
toys.
like we all do. Yeah,
So it's nice to be able to have it wired up in such a way that you don't have to worry about ever changing batteries on it. You don't have to worry about plugging anything in. It's just you have a base plate that you can hide your inductive ring in, and then you've got your kit. And when you put them together, you got some magic. So
love it.
that stay tuned
And
for that.
well, and then I wonder too is like, can you get it to where you'd be able to quickly say, "Hey, buy these things. This is how you put it together. Then here's like a pre-built LED for next time you're building a master grade."
Yeah, I mean, essentially, that would be kind of the goal. The most difficult thing, I think, to me, and I was very lucky when I bought these like micro LEDs off of Amazon, is that this particular LED came pre-soldered, and so the length of wire on it just happens to be the exact height of a high grade kit.
Oh, nice,
So
nice.
having the
Even a chunky boy like that.
yeah, even a thick boy. But well, I suppose we'd have to see if it still works with something like a Zazabi. It definitely wouldn't work with like a Psycho Gundam or the Bound
Oh
Dock.
yeah,
Those things are, So
yeah,
the trickiest part would be to make sure that you have enough of that lead wire that you can, you know, sh- kind of wiggle it down through the body of the kit. But yeah, I mean, I think that most it's been a long time since I've built a master grade, and I think that the perfect grades kind of come pre-wired for LEDs, but
yeah,
like, there always is a little bit of carving, a little bit of you know, modification to the internals of the kit that you have to do. With high grades, it's nice because they're mostly hollow, so you can just kind of thread the wires through and it's fine. But
yeah,
like with a master grade and you've got that inner frame to work with, that makes it a
yeah.
little tricky to kind of like thread the wires down.
Because it's like sectioned off pretty much.
Exactly. And so then, when you're looking at it, maybe as the crow flies, that would be enough wire, but when push comes to shove and you're actually trying to like get the wire through the kit, you're going to end up needing a lot more slack. So,
Yeah, that is true. And yeah, that reminds me, like I have the Master Grade Origin RX 7802, and that one comes with. Well, it doesn't come with it, but it's built in to put in an LED light, which you only have to pay $20 for. That you can just get for $1 off Amazon. But no,
there you
so
go.
I guess that it's good when they do that. That's actually interesting. It's like they could make it where even if a kit doesn't come with an LED, it's LED ready.
Yeah. That's a good way of putting it. Like, maybe that should be like a stamp that they have on the box, like LED
Yeah.
ready.
Yeah.
Um,
Just in case you want to go that extra mile, it's already kind of configured to implement that without having to do any customization.
exactly. Um, but even so, I think that an LED ready kit could still benefit from having the wireless induction setup as opposed
Yeah.
to being wired.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's the thing because even if something's LED ready, it's more of yeah, put the wire in, don't have to worry about the little batteries or anything, and then just yeah,
yeah.
the rest works.
Because that's one of the big, going back to what you were saying about Jobby. Jobby's done some reviews of Transformers that they've got like a huge backpack because they have to have a battery pack to power some of the like sound effects or the
Yeah,
lights on the toy. So yeah, I mean, what if you could get around having to do that? Because I don't want my RX-78 to have batteries in his in his backpack.
yeah. Or it would be neat if, and maybe I'm going too far here. There's like a charging port on the backpack where you could plug it in, charge it.
That's not a bad idea. I've seen some pretty cool videos online of guys that take like the lithium cell phone batteries, like they take the battery out of an old cell phone that they don't use anymore, and they take the, like the circuit board. So like it would be this part. So like the way that this particular induction ring that I've got is set up, when you buy it, it has the ring, it's got the controller here, and then the positive and negative leads go to they're just loose wires, so you have
With
to
whatever
find
you, yeah, wire it up to or whatever. It could be
exactly.
USB or power adapter.
So what they would do is they would connect this to that lithium battery, and then the lithium battery connect that to a micro USB port. And so then you can
Yeah.
charge it and have, wireless power. That's probably the
Neat.
next step of what I do. Because like I said, I've seen people that will, create all kinds of cool stuff doing that. Like,
But I gotta say, I think your approach could work because you could have a stationary sort of induction uh, diorama, pretty much, where
exactly.
then you're just setting the Gunpla down, and they could light up all differently, and
Yeah.
whereas then that induction unit could be just always plugged into the wall. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then so the one of the things that my next sort of experiment as far as this goes, now that I've seen that I can successfully do it, would be wiring the LEDs in parallel with each other. Because right now it only powers one LED. So you'd need multiple coils to power multiple LEDs. But if we just had one coil and we have wires going all over the place, then all you have is one contact point that hits the diorama and the entire thing lights up.
I mean, look, I don't want to get into conspiracy theories, but isn't it interesting how something that small can provide wireless power? Think of
Hey,
if it was
shh.
something bigger, like a pyramid. I don't know.
My FBI agent is getting mad at you right now.
Yeah, they're in the chat room already.
But I've come up with some pretty neat ideas, maybe altering the power that is required for these guys, because sometimes, like, wouldn't it be cool if you had like a tabletop board game where you had hidden tiles that when you're moving your
Oh, yeah.
piece they would light up and
Yeah,
create
that is
different.
cool.
Now
I feel like that
obvi-
could be used more than it is in general
right,
for anything.
like I love gimmicks like that. That
Yeah.
stuff's just cool. So yeah, like I said, 2024 is going to be a very big year because we've got a lot more stuff like that planned out.
Year of the gimmicks.
Yeah,
There we
year
go.
of the gimmicks. um Now, speaking of which,
Yeah.
here we have the transforming components, which, can you believe that this is all it takes to turn this into a wave rider? It's just this little block.
It's
Oh,
weird
yeah, it's
because it's like there's so much sculpting into that block. It's like, why aren't they just, individual pieces, or you know what I mean? It's just
yeah.
it's funky when you see Gunpla that has like some giant abstract, like detailed piece.
Oh yeah, and I still do it. I have all of the parts forming, Zeta conversion kits, things like the high grade Zeta, the Zeta
Yeah.
Plus. I'll take these parts and, like, to me this looks like a standalone spaceship.
Yeah.
And, like, in particular, the high grade Zeta Plus, the core block of it that you would use as the parts former, it looks exactly like the dropship from Aliens.
Oh, that's cool. So
Yeah.
yeah, you could just paint it. Even that sort of has a little bit of that going on. Yeah, you
Right?
could totally paint that. It looks like, yeah, something from James Cameron, like Avatar or
Exactly. Let's go
Alien.
get us some unobtainium.
Yeah.
So now I have the joy of telling you about why I am so disappointed with this conversion kit, because obviously, like, the Zaku 1 conversion is pretty freaking sweet.
Yeah, that is
Although
cool.
honestly, I think that, I love a Zaku 1 that has the spiked shoulder, so I might keep that. But
Yeah, that is a good look for Zaku 1. Yeah.
so the Zaku 1 looking pretty good. The Zeta, however, I don't have a problem with a parts former, but what I do have a problem with is the fact that you have to literally disassemble the kit in order to create the Wave Rider. Now, what I mean by that is this. So, like, obviously this would be the same transformation process for the high grade, by the way. It's like you just kind of take parts off and then snap them
Yeah.
onto the the transformation block, and then you get your Wave Rider here. But the problem I have with this, and the problem that we are going to be trying to remedy today, or at least come up with a plan to remedy, I don't think we'll be able to cut it up in time for the stream to be finished, is this, that we obviously have to take the entire kit apart.
Wow.
Gotta take the legs off here. Take the front torso off. I might need a parts separator for this one because this is on here really well.
Oh,
Oh my goodness.
yeah, there's always that, and then you don't want to accidentally break a peg.
Exactly.
End of the world when that happens.
Oh yeah. I mean, my life flashes before my eyes every time. Every
Yeah,
time
like
a part
that.
goes flying.
Oh yeah. Well, like that CPAX narrative CPAX video, like the thing that holds the beam saber just broke off so easily when I went to take the beam saber, and I'm like, what? Luckily, that's an easy fix now that I
Okay, good.
understand drilling and filling in with, but I hate it when that happens.
Yeah. I mean, when I was making that the LEDs on that Zaku that I made for that one video, the number of times that I broke the leg peg off for the left leg, I
And
mean,
then would have to repair it, and then it would break again and repair it.
yeah, it was a
Wow.
multi-repair job.
Wow.
So let's see. I think this guy came off of here. Tuck him back in. So obviously, this is a fun transformation that we have to do. It's like, it's a good thing that I'm not like actually trying to play with this as a toy, because hold on, let me transform my Zeta so that I can slam into the O real quick.
And then Sirocco's just sitting there like, okay, all right, waiting.
Right.
Now, is this different than that other SD one? Because remember, I even bought like an SD version that was like at a Wave Rider mode. And I guess is like this different? And let me see if I can grab it real quick. Actually.
Yeah. While he grabs that, I am also going to admit that I'm disappointed that the cross silhouette Zeta doesn't come with its own beam sabers, like the beam sabers come with the.
Oh, wow. Actually, I couldn't find.
Oh,
that's actually not a good thing. I like it a lot, so I don't know where I put it. But because there's that SD Zeta I got, and its Wave Rider mode is amazing. I love it.
See,
even though there are some of the parts falling, but not like this where it's parts separating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see here, because we have to rotate the arms, and then you kind of tuck them up into this little crevice here. Which, again, so far so good. This is not terrible.
And it looks cool too. It's really detailed.
Yeah, like they actually put a lot of thought into this conversion so far, and it looks like a Wave Rider.
Yeah.
Here's
by the way, the name Wave Rider is a brilliant name.
Oh yeah, it's so much cooler than like jet mode.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oops, forgot this guy goes back here. I think I might need to double check the instructions on this one.
I can just imagine Camille getting out of the Zeta and then in space slowly floating to different parts and like using a tool to like disassemble and then moving it slowly across.
Yeah, seriously. Let's and honestly it kind of reminds me of some of the like in the original Gundam, how they would have like the flying part, like the core fighter and the legs and torso would come together in midair.
Hey, and you know what? I don't think you watched Victory.
No, I didn't make it all the way through Victory.
Because that happens a lot in Victory.
Yeah,
there's multiple parts, but they make it actually look cool, and they do the thing I think Seed ended up doing, where you see like the lasers come out.
That's to like cool to line it up.
Yeah,
so 90% of the way there, and here's where I have a gripe. Is that instead of just snapping the legs on here somehow, you actually have to disassemble the legs and then reassemble the armor plates around the Wave Rider.
Yeah, that's like one of those things where it's like, yeah, I'll probably never transform this.
Yeah.
Or you do it once and you're like, okay, that's
Well, that was fun.
Hey,
So
but real quick,
oh,
this
go ahead.
this extra cross silhouette you call it the that you bought the extra pack,
Oh, yeah.
is it unpainted?
Yes, unpainted, so
That's
it comes
interesting.
all in white, which, you know, there's part of me that's upset about that because obviously, like, I've already
It's extra
painted.
work. Yeah,
Yeah, I've
and you
already
got to match
painted
it.
my Zeta, so, like, now, but we'll figure that out. That's
Yeah. That is kinda neat though. Like, someone else I know got the Zaku, 2 kit recently, and it was completely white and already primed. Like, it was built it's, like,
like
made
built
like
to
that, and you
paint.
just paint it. Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
yeah.
See here, I want to make sure that I get this right. I guess this part would come in here. Snap on. Maybe I need to take these off before I do so.
Mhm.
So yeah, the way that this comes together is you have to like thread these posts through Zeta legs. And by the time you've done this, like obviously it's no longer like you have to go through this again to transform it back into the robot.
Yeah, that's kind of a
Yeah, I mean,
Hasaki Art is saying that the CS line, cross silhouette line, is a whole lot better than the rest of the SD lines, in my opinion. What do you think about that?
I would agree,
Oh,
except for
I'm gonna have to
this quirk.
yeah,
Is that
I'm gonna have to check some of this stuff out. My local comic shop actually has a bunch of the cross silhouette. I just normally pass by SD stuff, but
well, and another nice thing about these, and I think you'll agree that like the proportions are not quite as SD as like the BB Senshi line. So the BB
yeah,
Senshi kind of has that like really short, stocky look to it. Whereas these guys, they not
yeah, it's a
only
little more like that the Mobile Suit Ensemble stuff.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at the stuff. They look pretty cool. I'm getting that itch. Getting that itch.
Now, I will say that some of them come with both frames. So there are two frames. One is one is like the SD frame,
Articulated.
and one is like slightly taller and
Oh,
articulated.
oh,
Um,
interesting.
Now this actually might appeal to you if you're not interested in like the Zeta, Zaku, that kind of stuff. So this is actually one of the cool parts about this option set is that, yeah, it comes with, well, why am I doing this when I've got the camera down here? So what is included in this silhouette booster is you've got the Wave Rider transformation part, you've got the Zaku 1 transformation option parts, you have a couple of extra hands, you have two beam sabers, and then you have these four parts down here. It's not exactly clear what they are from the box, which this is
Mhm.
this is the part that's like I wish that some of the cross silhouette marketing was done a little bit better. So what these two parts at the bottom are, this one is for SD kits. It's this part right here. And then this one is for the cross silhouette frame.
Mm.
What it is it is a replacement for the pelvis that allows the torso to get that ab crunch.
Oh, okay.
So
Pretty
let
neat.
me I will illustrate this by assembling it onto the Zaku here. If we were to take this guy apart, and hopefully I can put it on the Zaku. I'm pretty sure that it is compatible. Because yeah, as you can see, this part is just plugs in with a ball joint, and that's all of your torso movement right there. But if we were to remove this and swap it out for this guy, see if I get this right on the first try, or if I need to. Whoop. Yeah. Swap it out with this part and rebuild the skirt. Then we can reassemble our Zaku. Now we have an added level of articulation that was not there before. Because well, doesn't help if I snap it out of place. So it allows the legs to lean forward a little bit, give you that little upskirt from behind. um, it's a little trickier to do with the Zaku since it's got like one solid skirt piece, whereas the
Oh, okay.
Zeta has like a multi kitted out skirt, so you can actually like lean
Give it more
forward.
range.
But the
Oh,
idea is you can do this with any of the cross silhouette kits, is you can use that option part. And the fact that they have it for both the SD and the cross silhouette frame means that this option part set is actually more valuable to not just the Zeta and the Zaku, but other kits as well.
and oh, okay, that's pretty good.
So
That's pretty good. I'm gonna
just
have
one of those
to.
little quirks.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully I have illustrated to you guys what my chief complaint about this is.
Yeah, that's a pretty obvious one. Usually when it comes to something that transforms, the kind of the first question is, what is the transforming process? Does it require a lot of disassembling? Can it just happen all at once? Like that's what I can't wait with this Epion. I haven't even tried doing the transforming yet, but it looks like it's pretty awesome according to the manual. So.
Yeah. And like the Epion is a good example because this is one of the, I mean, how many other transforming real grades have there been? I mean, the Zeta was the first, but like there's a Wing Gundam Zero.
Oh, I have that,
Um,
haven't built it, so that'd be interesting to test out.
yeah. Now obviously like you have the unicorn kits, but like that's not so much a transformation as like, just
Right.
kind of sliding some
Just
armor
parts.
around.
Yeah, that can move around.
But yeah, I think that it's just a quirk of the Zeta's animation, or the Zeta's transformation in general, is that a lot of transforming kits like the Wing Zero, the Epion, I mean the Epion basically just kind of folds in half. Like it turns upside down, the
Yeah.
legs fold forward, and then you're done, right? Wing Zero is the same way. It's like the torso turns around and he's basically just still in robot mode but with wings out the back. The Zeta is such a unique transformation because the wings have to come down from the back and wrap around to the front. The chest has to open up, the shield goes underneath, the legs do this little like spread out, and then
Yeah.
it's
It's like the hips can move out more because there's some consistency among Zeta transformations. And it is
yeah.
like the abdomen opens so the head can drop down,
Yep.
like you were saying, and then the torso moving up.
Which, I mean, speaking of which, good luck fitting this inside of that.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no way you're going to make a transforming SD kit of the Zeta.
Man,
without...
those WIMP engineers didn't even try.
But that's where we come in, because we're going to be home engineers here. So basically, as far as I can tell, the only real changes that we need to make are going to be on these legs. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to saw this off right about here, because that looks to be where the attachment is for the leg. And then we need to add a ball joint to it so that this can just snap into it.
Seems like you could do that.
Like,
I
it
feel
kind of
like you
seems
could.
like they already should have.
They should have done it. Yeah, I know that is a little weird.
But I'll tell you where it gets complicated. This is probably why they did it this way. Is because when the foot is attached to the leg, there's no way to turn it upwards at that angle. So it would always be pointed down.
You might have to then maybe add an extra joint to the foot where it can like move down. So then you can bring it up. I don't know.
Exactly. So what we're going to need to do is basically double joint this ball joint under here.
Oh, excellent.
And yeah. I'm thinking, see, I might have, speaking of my buddy, built that Zegok with me. Gift some time ago that was a set of option part ball joints.
Ooh,
which
is excellent.
Yeah, that I've gotten so much use out of that because it's like taking peg joints and converting them into ball joints. I think I actually used some of those for my custom Bawu, which still haven't finished repairing, but we'll get there.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I think it's just going to be as simple as snapping on a second ball joint here to where not only does it turn on that axis, but can rotate up.
That's a great idea. In fact, I just searched that on it looks like even on Amazon, there's all these different options that are not expensive of all various types of ball joints.
Yeah,
Um, that's great to know for a lot of reasons. Not only if you want to add that extra articulation, but if you break something. Yeah.
exactly. That's a huge one.
Mhm.
And that's another thing that I want to bring up about like the Bandai hobby flagship store is, especially, hobby shops in general, you know, it is not cost effective to be ordering your Bandai option part sets, your Kotobukiya option part sets, your action bases, because these are usually like $5 to $10, and then once you add on shipping, they get ridiculously expensive. And then if you're on Amazon, yeah, you might not have to pay shipping, but they're like $20 to $25 instead of eight
Yeah, a
bucks.
little more to make up for that. Yeah, you're right.
Exactly.
And that's something I meant to say early on when you were talking about going to the store is there really is always a good deal going to the physical store, even
Yeah.
if you find good deals online. A lot of times you could be in a store and see something that's not available online and see it for a good price. I don't know how
Yeah.
many times that I've actually gone to a hobby shop and saw something for a good price I can't find anywhere. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
So I mean, it's just worth it to check it out, and of course they
Yeah.
have other, like you said, other kits and stuff too. So it's like, even if you take inspiration from like classic military vehicle kits that you like take a submarine and like kit bash it
Oh,
with a
yeah.
Gundam, stuff like that.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
And they always have things like CA glue and nippers and all that good stuff too, because those things are not just exclusive to the Gunpla hobby, they're plastic
Yeah.
modeling in general. So,
My favorite, Gunpla accessory is actually the mini, Q-tips,
oh yeah.
Tamiya. I feel like those help so much,
Yes.
like, for little cleanups here and there, like yeah,
Yeah, especially when you're doing like the liquid panel lining and you can just
exactly.
like,
Because for me, that's like the art form where with the liquid panel lining, I'm just kinda letting it do its thing, and then I
right.
go back with the little and I'm making those little touches. I feel like I can be very specific and intricate at that level, whereas a
Yeah.
lot of times I can't be. Yeah.
I agree with that. I love that feeling of like being able to kind of pull it back as opposed to trying to be so precise about
Right.
getting your panel lines down right the first time. You kind of just let everything do its thing, and then you kind of
Yeah.
and you can control how much you pull off too. And so like one of the other things I like to do, and I tried to do it a little bit with this Zeta when I was doing the panel lines on it, is like if you put down a little panel line fluid and then you use one of those Gundam blending markers that come with the Real Touch,
Oh, yeah.
you can pull some of that ink down the leg and kind of make it look like, rust, pooling out, or like oil
That's
stains,
a
things
good
like that.
one. Because that's yeah, with those little, Q-tips, I end up doing that accidentally where I will be cleaning up some panel lining and seeing, wait a minute, this gives a good weathered look here. Maybe I'll expand that. And actually, for the Red Rider, I did that a lot. I used toothpicks and the Q-tips to for various ways of getting that weathered look on.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun.
See if I can get this wing off here.
Well, Johnny Tacoma saying you can also use an eraser on panel lines. I had never thought about that or even tried that.
Yeah, I've never tried that myself.
That's pretty cool.
So good to know.
Yeah.
So it looks like I should be able to cut this off basically at that right at that joint. But then what we're gonna want to do is try and recess the ball joint into that section so that when it snaps on in the right place. Because like you see how this top, push in on this.
That is cool.
So the top of this like seam right here lines up kind of dead on
Oh, yeah.
with the top of the leg there. So the goal is going to be to kind of recess the ball joint underneath it, like down in here, so that
Mhm.
when it does snap on, it lines up with it again.
Yeah. No, that great idea. I mean, hey, and let's say that doesn't work, you could always resort to magnets, you know?
I actually thought about that because I've got my handful of magnets here, and I was like, man,
Yeah,
maybe that's the secret. And
could be.
honestly, if I didn't want to double joint the feet, that would not be a bad solution. Would be to fix a magnet in the heel that connected underneath.
Yeah. Dude, that's great. I'm curious to see what direction you go with this because both of those could be beneficial for so many different things.
Maybe I'll do one half each way, and then we can like do a review to see which one works a little bit better.
Yeah.
I know I had a hobby saw around here somewhere.
Ooh, hobby saw. Like, really, I'd like to see you just pull out a chainsaw. You're like, all right, let's try to do this.
That would be the way to go for sure.
Oh, Dan Vince had a long client call. What did I miss? Hatter has the cross silhouette Zeta and Wave Rider form, but it requires you to disassemble the pieces. So he's going to create a custom way to transform it without having to disassemble it. I think that's awesome.
Perfect. That was a very apt summary.
Yeah, I'm proud of myself, to be honest.
And since we don't, I mean, we're coming up to the edge of the hour anyway, but this has been a fun conversation about a lot of different great topics. So I'm glad that, you know, we were able to discuss these things while I'm slowly talking about how I'm going to break my toys.
Yeah. No, true.
But no, I think that this is going to work beautifully. And again, it just begs the question, like, why didn't they think of that?
I know. But that saw, I think I've seen you use those before.
Yeah, these things are amazing. The Hasegawa hobby saws. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to get my camera to focus on how tiny the teeth are on this thing.
Yeah, I can't even notice there's teeth on there. That's amazing.
Yeah, but it is insanely sharp, and I've cut myself with them more times than I'm willing to admit. So,
Yikes.
Yeah, always, you know, use protective equipment, PPE. I don't know.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. Probably need to be wearing those gloves.
Gloves.
But how long is that going to take?
This is going to take a while.
Is there a faster way to do that? Or
the chainsaw?
That would actually obliterate the whole thing. But no, is there not like a faster way to make it precise? Because you could accidentally cut.
Yeah, like, you know, I could probably take like you know, a set of nippers and just cut the whole thing off. My concern though is I want to try and keep this little bridge, like this anchor part, intact, because if I need to, I might replace the interior. So like this is what the interior of the leg normally looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks very similar. I mean, they're pretty, they have to be because they fit inside the same place inside the leg.
But you're saying maybe reuse that and yeah,
instead of cutting up this part, you know, we can work with this.
That's a good idea.
At least that's my thinking, but
yeah,
I don't even think I'm going to be able to finish sawing this on screen, so I might wait until afterwards. But you guys get the gist of what we're doing here.
It's like when you see those videos of how they apparently built the pyramids and they're taking for. Now, why is this episode about pyramids all of a sudden? I don't know.
it all comes back to pyramids sooner or later. No, but so yeah, thank you guys for kind of helping me arrive at the conclusion that that I was probably going to arrive at anyway, is that I just need to cut this thing up and redo it myself. But and then once I do, I'll repaint it, and I don't know, maybe I'll do something different because, like, you know, I already have the NEX Edge style SD Zeta Gundam. So like maybe we can give this guy a custom paint job, make him look like the Zeta 3, the white and pink, the Amuro one. Yeah,
that's actually a good idea.
That would be pretty sweet. I've never seen an SD version of that Gundam.
Yeah, I don't think I have either. Yeah, that's a good idea. Cool.
So I hope you guys are excited about some of these new Gunpla coming out. I know, well, you know, do you think you're going to pick up the new Verkastein?
No, because really, I gotta get to my backlog. Like, I
Yeah,
I know everyone has a backlog, but I don't need to be everyone, and I wanna work through it so that I can be like, "Okay, what kit can I work on right now?" And then just choose that one and then build it.
yeah,
That way, I think I would get to more interesting kits because a lot of it is just I have things that it's like, you know, uh, like I have that Gundam base Mark II that I got like a year ago, and I wanna build that so bad, but it's like, "Oh,
yeah.
now I got that Perfect Grade Unleashed." I wanna build.
See, and that's that. You know what? Don't go to your local hobby store because if you do, you're going to end up adding to your
I
backlog.
know, I know.
No, actually, one of the things I forgot to mention is that I have not attended a build night. Like I said, the Bandai Hobby flagship store has build nights every Friday from 5 to 8. But I'm gonna be on solo daddy duty for the next
Mm,
foreseeable few weeks, so I'm not gonna be able to get out there until next year. But I did introduce myself to the store manager and all that good stuff. I am looking forward
cool.
to attending one of these build nights, and I am going to take with me the I already I was so excited that day that I visited. I was like, "Man, I got my God hands and my glass file ready. I'm going to bring my Selma high
Oh, yeah.
grade Zaku and this is what I'm going to be working on at build night, but I guess I'm just going to have to save it for the new year." So, probably mid-January, I'll be attending one of those and
I gotta do the
share my
same.
insights.
There's places around here that do that, and I never go. I went to
Right?
one a couple years ago. That's about it.
Yeah, it's I think that there's definitely benefit in it, but there's also benefit in doing kind of what you and I have done, which like, I didn't know that there's like an RVA Gunpla group that's, it's like a Facebook group and they have like their own custom stickers and stuff like that. I hope that I'll be welcome when I when I get to see them. But I didn't get plugged in with any local hobby groups or anything. I was just like I have this stuff that I've been doing in my garage. I feel like I need to share it because I've never seen it online anywhere. And these are those types of things that it's like even even if you have shared these things with people in person in the past, the fact that I was unable to find the tutorials that I wanted to do the things that I was doing with my Gunpla indicates to me that, you know, that there needs to be more of it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So,
Ah,
so I contribute in a small way.
of
Um,
course. No, but it's a big way, probably bigger than you think, you
I
know?
hope so. Yeah. I hope that I hope that you'll check out one of these cross silhouette kits now that you've seen just how
Yeah,
just how
I think
awesome
I
they are.
yeah.
There's a lot of fun stuff you can do with them. I wish that they had a little bit that they had more accessories. Like it's
Yeah.
disappointing to me that Zeta only comes with the beam rifle, doesn't even come with the
Doesn't have
hyper mega launcher or beam
Yeah.
sabers.
Yeah, the Hyper Mega Launcher, I think is just an awesome look on the Wave Rider. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So maybe that'll be part of this little conversion that I'm doing as well.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
if I can take, I've got the high grade version of the Hyper Mega Launcher here. Maybe I can find a way to snap this
Get it to
puppy
work.
on.
Yeah.
That
If
would
it's
just
not
kind
too
of look
big,
ridiculous.
but yeah. Or
So
and you never know, there could be some other form of Zeta out there that has a more comparable, uh, gun for that somewhere, like a different scale or something.
that's true. Yeah. Or we can always resort to the old 3D printer,
Oh, there you go.
which
Wait, and what's that? Is that something you 3D printed?
it is. This is a
That is sick.
surprise. We've got some fun stuff that I can't wait to share with you guys.
Oh, that
So
is cool.
yeah, with that, I will cryptically leave you guys. But yeah, anything else that I'm forgetting before we sign off for today?
Nah, this was a pretty packed, episode, so, yeah,
Yeah,
well done.
good, good. Well, hey, you know, everyone who's celebrating, have an absolutely Merry Christmas next week.
Yep.
In case I don't see you, of course, I'll try to get this LED video out this week so that you guys have a little bit of a Christmas present from me before the new year. But thank you guys so much for hanging out, chatting with us, and watching me butcher another kit. Adam, thank you as always for hanging with me and keeping me
Yeah,
sane.
no problem, man. This is fun.
Good deal. Well, again, go watch Adam's video on 0081 and check us out tomorrow on the Gundam Explained show.
Yeah. See y'all.
Have a good day.